Hey everyone, and welcome to a deep dive
Yes.
into VPNs.
VPNs.
More specifically,
Mhm.
Tom Spark reviews VPN Tier List 7.0 for 2024.
Okay. Yeah.
We had a listener write in, and they want to know
Mm-hmm.
if this list is reputable
Yeah.
and if they can trust it when choosing a VPN.
That's a great question.
Yeah, it is a great question.
Yeah, a lot of people use that list, so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's get into it.
Okay.
So how does Tom Spark Reviews actually come up with these rankings?
Well, it's definitely not just somebody's opinion, you know.
Okay.
They have a very thorough process.
Okay.
They have this massive spreadsheet that I've looked at
Okay.
where they score each VPN across a ton of different categories.
Wow.
So we're talking about pricing,
Sure.
application features, connection speeds,
Right.
security audits, customer support,
That makes sense.
streaming capabilities,
Yeah.
even the company's overall reputation and professional conduct.
Okay, so it sounds like it's very thorough.
Yes.
Yes, very thorough.
But how do they go from all these individual scores
Right.
to an overall ranking?
Okay.
So all these categories carry equal weight?
Well, that's an interesting question
Okay.
because each category has its own specific score,
Okay.
and then they use a point system to calculate the final score.
Okay.
So some categories might be weighted a little bit differently,
Okay.
heavier than others,
Sure.
depending on what they consider to be most important
Okay.
for a good VPN experience overall.
Right.
And the current top dog is NordVPN.
Okay.
They have a score of 97 out of 100.
Wow, 97.
It's hard to beat.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Okay, so now on to the big question that the listener had.
Okay.
Can you really trust this list?
Wow.
There's always that concern
Yeah.
about bias,
Mm-hmm.
especially with all the affiliate marketing
Yeah.
that goes on in the VPN world.
Right.
So how do we know that this list is actually legit?
So that's a very valid concern.
Yeah. Transparency is very important in this industry for sure.
For sure.
What's reassuring about Tom Spark is that they clearly disclose any affiliations they have
Okay.
right on the list.
Okay. That's good.
And, you look at the sheer amount of data they've collected. I mean, they do speed tests
Wow.
from over 50 countries.
Yeah.
They analyze customer support response times.
Okay.
I mean, they really do these deep dives into logging policies and security practices.
But they're not just taking the marketing material
You
from
know.
the VPN company.
No, they're doing their own research.
Okay, good. So
Yeah.
it seems like they're
Very thorough.
really doing the work.
Yes. Oh, okay.
And it's also not a one and done thing.
Okay.
This list is constantly being updated
Oh, wow.
with new data,
Okay.
changes in the market,
Right.
feedback from the community.
So it's like a living document.
It's a living document.
That's awesome.
Yeah. For example, Hide.me had some performance issues in the US in previous versions of the list,
Okay.
which affected their speed score,
Mm-hmm.
but they've actually factored in that Hide.me might actually have better speeds in other regions,
Okay.
like Europe.
So they're taking into account like the different
Yes, different regions.
regions. Yeah. Okay.
Different regions.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Right.
Okay. So we've established that the list is data driven
Yes.
and it seems pretty trustworthy.
Yeah.
But one thing that I noticed is that it doesn't just focus on privacy,
Right.
which is what a lot of people associate with VPNs.
Hmm.
So why is that?
I think that's a great observation, and it reflects a bigger shift in the VPN landscape.
Huh.
Back in the day, privacy was the main selling point,
Right.
but now people are using VPNs for so much more.
Right.
Streaming.
Gaming,
Right.
downloading large files.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like it's not just a privacy tool anymore.
No, it's becoming an essential part of a
Yeah.
good online experience.
Exactly.
People have higher expectations now.
They want fast speeds.
Makes sense.
They want seamless streaming,
Yeah.
user-friendly apps, and the ability to access content from all over the world.
Right. And all of that is...
And Tom Spark takes all that into account.
Okay, so they're really looking at the whole picture.
Yeah, the whole package.
Yeah.
Not just whether you can hide your IP address,
Okay.
but how it performs in real-world scenarios.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's actually a good point,
Yeah.
Because by including all these other factors,
Right.
it kind of shows that they're acknowledging
Mm-hmm.
that VPN users have all sorts of different needs
Yeah.
and priorities.
So they're not just saying privacy's not important.
No, not at all.
Okay.
It's still a very core function of a VPN,
Right.
but it might not be the top priority for every single user.
Okay, so like
Yeah.
some people
Some people? Yeah,
might be more concerned about streaming,
exactly.
their speed.
Yeah, and for some, privacy might be non-negotiable.
Right.
They just want that maximum anonymity
Right.
and security.
Okay, so it's kind of like,
Yeah.
you know how you might
Yeah.
choose one car over another
Right.
based on your needs?
Exactly.
Like if you have a big family, you need a bigger car.
Exactly.
If you're just commuting
Yeah.
by yourself,
Yeah.
you could have a smaller car.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
It's all about finding the right tool for the job.
So it seems like the fact that they include
Yeah.
all these other factors
Mm-hmm.
actually strengthens the reputability of the list.
I think so too.
Okay.
Because it shows that they're considering a wider audience.
Right.
They're not just
Yeah.
catering to a small niche.
Exactly.
And they go beyond just like assigning scores.
Oh,
They really dig into the why behind the scores.
okay.
Like, remember how we were talking about Hide Me
Yeah.
and the speed issues in the U.S.?
Right.
Well, they actually go on to explain that this could be
Okay.
because of network congestion,
Okay.
server location issue.
Right.
They even suggest that Hide.me might have better speeds in other regions.
Okay, that's really good.
Yeah, it's a lot of detail.
So you're not just getting like
Yeah.
a number.
Right.
You're getting,
You're getting context
Yeah,
and
and-
insight.
yeah, and that's super helpful.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about the methodology.
Yes.
We've talked about the transparency,
Yes.
the fact that they consider all these factors beyond privacy.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like this is a pretty solid resource.
Yeah, I think so.
But are the VPNs that rank high on the list,
Right.
do they actually live up to the hype?
That is the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you can have a great methodology,
Yeah,
but if the results don't make sense,
Yeah.
then the list kind of loses its credibility.
exactly. So let's dive into some specifics.
Okay, let's do it.
We talked about NordVPN earlier.
Right. 97?
97 out of 100.
Top of the list.
What makes them stand out?
So if you look at the spreadsheet, they consistently score high across almost every single category.
Wow.
They've got a huge server network,
Okay.
which is good for speed and bypassing geo-restrictions.
Oh.
They've also undergone independent security audits.
So like they've got people checking up on them?
Yes, independent verification,
Okay, good.
which is very important for trust.
For sure. Okay, what about Surfshark?
Surfshark.
They merged with NordVPN
Yes, they did.
a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
So did that affect their ranking?
So that's a great question
Yeah.
because even though they're under the NordVPN umbrella,
Okay.
they are still holding their own
Okay.
with a respectable score of 81.25.
Okay. That's still pretty good.
It is very good.
Oh. So
They're known for their unlimited simultaneous connections,
Okay.
which is good for families or people with lots of devices.
okay.
And they also offer some unique features,
Okay.
like GPS spoofing.
GPS spoofing.
Yeah.
That sounds interesting.
It is interesting, especially for those who are very privacy conscious.
So even though they're owned by the same company,
Yeah.
it seems like they're
Mhm.
still
Yeah, they're still competing.
competing.
They're still innovating,
Okay, that's good.
which is great for the consumer.
Yeah, because it shows that they're not just trying to like dominate the market
Right.
and get rid of all the competition.
Yeah. It seems like healthy competition is alive and well,
Okay, good.
even within the same company.
Now, on the other end of the spectrum,
Okay.
what about the VPNs that didn't do so well?
Right. Because anyone can cherry pick a
Yeah.
few high-performing VPNs
Yes.
to make their list look good.
Right, but how do they handle
Right.
the ones that aren't?
Exactly. That's what shows integrity.
Exactly.
So one example is iVPN.
Okay.
They got a lower score,
Okay.
partially because they were resistant to Tom Sparks' review approach.
Really?
They didn't like
So they didn't like the way he was.
the nuanced approach.
Okay.
They kind of wanted things to be very black and white, and they actually spread misinformation about the channel,
Oh, wow.
which obviously
Not good.
didn't sit well.
So it seems like transparency is really important here.
Transparency and a willingness to engage in dialogue.
Right, like if a VPN provider's
Yeah.
being shady.
Evasiveness is a red flag,
Exactly.
not being upfront.
Okay, so we've seen how they're evaluating
Yeah.
both the high achievers
Mm-hmm.
and the not-so-great performers.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
And it seems like they're holding them all
Yeah.
to the same standards,
Same standards.
which I think is good.
Yeah. Definitely adds to the credibility.
Yeah. Okay, so another thing I really like about this list
Yeah.
is that it's very accessible.
It is. Yeah.
You know, they have this spreadsheet,
Yeah.
which might seem a little daunting,
Yeah, it can be a little overwhelming at first.
but you can sort and filter
Yes, very easily.
by different categories.
Yes. Filter by speed price streaming capabilities.
So you can really tailor it
Yes.
to what you're looking for.
Tailor it to your needs, exactly.
Okay, so
Yeah.
do you think this list is reputable?
Based on everything we've talked about,
Yeah.
I would say yes.
Okay.
Their methodology is sound. They're transparent about their affiliations.
Uh-huh.
They go above and beyond by looking at not just privacy,
Right.
but I think the best way to determine if it's valuable for you is to actually go and explore the list yourself.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
Like, spend some time with it.
Yeah, play around with it.
Play around with the filter.
Read the reviews
Yeah.
and just see if it makes sense for you.
Exactly.
If their recommendations align with your needs.
Yeah, because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
the best VPN for you
Mm-hmm.
is the one that fits your needs.
Exactly, the one that fits your needs.
And this list is a good tool
Yeah, great starting point.
to kind of figure that out.
Absolutely.
So we've spent a lot of time with Tom Sparks' VPN tier list.
Yeah, we have.
And it seems like a really solid resource.
I think so.
But I think it's worth taking a step back
Okay.
and looking at the bigger picture.
Okay. Yeah, what do you mean by that?
Like, are there other
Right.
VPN tier lists out there?
Yeah. Are there other resources
Other resources that we can
that we should be looking at?
look at? Because
Mhm.
even though Tom Sparks' list is great,
Right.
it's always good
It's always good to get
to get a second opinion.
a second opinion.
Yeah.
It's like going to the doctor.
Going to the doctor.
Yeah.
You want to make sure
You want a second opinion.
that you're not missing anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't just rely on one source.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So where should we start?
Where should we start?
Mm.
Well, one that comes to mind
Okay.
is privacytools.io.
Privacytools.io.
Have you heard of that one?
I have heard of that one.
Okay.
They're known for their strong emphasis on privacy
Yeah, okay.
and security.
So they're like,
Yeah. They have a very rigorous selection
Yep.
process.
Yeah. They only recommend VPNs that meet their strict criteria.
So they're kind of like the
privacy purists.
privacy purist.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're really concerned about privacy,
Yeah.
that's a great resource.
That's a great resource.
Yeah.
What about for people who are maybe more concerned with
Streaming.
Yeah.
There's streaming.
Yeah.
Are there other?
There are other resources for that.
Okay.
Another site that I like is that one privacy site.
Okay.
They take a more data-driven approach,
Okay.
similar to Tom Spark,
Okay.
but they also incorporate user feedback
Okay.
and expert opinions.
So it's like a combination of...
It's a blend
Yeah.
of quantitative and qualitative,
Yeah. Okay.
which can provide a more holistic view.
I like that.
Yeah, and they do a really good job of explaining things
Okay.
in plain English.
Okay. That's important.
Yeah, they break down complex technical concepts
Right?
into easy-to-understand language.
Yeah.
Which is really helpful for people who aren't tech wizards.
VPNs can get really technical.
Yeah, they can.
And it's nice to have...
Yeah, you don't have to be a computer scientist to understand this stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Okay. So those are just a couple examples.
a couple examples.
There's tons out there.
Tons of resources out there.
Um,
Yeah, it's all about finding the ones
Yeah.
that resonate with you
right. Like
and that you find trustworthy.
your own
Yeah.
trusted
It's
network.
a trusted network of sources.
Exactly. Okay. So as you're
Mm-hmm.
exploring all these different sites and resources,
Yeah.
what are some things to keep in mind?
Okay. Give me the checklist.
Okay. So first and foremost,
Okay.
what are your priorities?
Yeah. What are your must-haves
What are your must-haves
when it comes to a
when
VPN?
it comes to a VPN?
Is it ironclad privacy?
Yeah.
Is it blazing fast speeds?
Yeah.
Is it seamless streaming?
Yeah.
Figure out what you want.
Figure out what you want.
Yeah, and then you can narrow down your options.
Then look at the methodology.
Yes. How are these lists created?
How are they creating these lists?
What factors are they considering?
What are they considering?
Are they being transparent about their testing?
Yeah. Transparency is key.
Yeah, we want to know what's behind those scores and rankings.
Exactly.
And are there any conflicts of interest?
Right.
Are these reviewers getting paid
Yeah. Are they affiliated
by the VPN provider?
with these VPN providers?
Are they being upfront about any affiliations they might have?
Yeah. That's important.
It's always good to be aware of those potential biases.
And then finally,
Yeah.
don't be afraid to do your own research.
Yes. Read user reviews, check out online forums,
Yeah, look for real people.
see what real people are saying.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the best insights
Yeah.
come from those who have actually used the product.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And remember, this isn't like a one-time decision.
This is not a set it and forget it type of thing.
Yeah, the VPN landscape
The VPN landscape is constantly changing.
is always changing.
New providers are popping.
New providers are popping up.
Existing ones are updating their features.
So you got to stay up to date.
You got to stay up to date.
It's like your favorite sports team or band.
Exactly. You got to keep tabs on what's new.
Got to keep tabs on what's new.
It's exciting.
So to wrap things up,
Okay.
we want to leave you with this.
Okay.
There's no one perfect VPN.
Yeah, there's no magic bullet.
There's no magic bullet.
It's all about finding the best fit
Yeah.
for your individual needs, priorities,
Yeah.
and risk tolerance.
Risk tolerance.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to try before you buy.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of these VPN providers
Free trials, money-back guarantees.
have free trials.
Test the waters before you commit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go forth, dear listener,
Go forth.
armed with knowledge, a discerning eye,
Yes.
and a spirit of adventure.
Yes.
And may you find the VPN of your dreams.
The VPN of your dreams.
Yes.
Okay, that wraps up our
Yeah.
deep dive into the world of
VPNs.
VPN tier lists.
VPN tier lists.
We hope you found it informative and helpful.
We hope you learned something.
We hope you learned something.
And remember, stay curious, stay informed,
Stay curious, stay informed,
and stay secure.
and stay secure.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.